Okay. Hello,
Yeah.
everybody. I hope you're enjoying World Book Day live. This is actually a pre-recording. At the moment, I am in a hotel in Leeds, which is very exciting. And I'm talking to my friend Rob Jones. And Rob, as I'm sure you know, is the illustrator of all of my books: The Funny Life of Pets, The Funny Life of Teachers, The Funny Life of Sharks, Write Your Own Funny Stories, The Funny Life of Football, and the latest book, which is Don't Panic, We Can Save the Planet, which is out now in the shops. Rob, welcome to my World Book Day digital extravaganza.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. It's good to see you. So we've made like five books together now, haven't we?
Is it five? Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
five. Yeah, we
it's
have.
quite
We've
a few.
definitely. I'm sure you can. Yeah, we've
Uh,
definitely made five
I feel
books
like
together.
I've known you for a long time now.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of books. It's a lot of books. And people, when I travel around schools, people always asking about you. They say, they often say to me, "Do you draw the pictures?" And I go, "No, no, that's Rob Jones. He does all the pictures." And they ask me questions about the illustrations, and I say, "I don't know. I don't do them. Ask Rob." So I thought this is a nice opportunity to ask Rob. So my first question for you is, what what do you do when you hear from the publishers what the next book is going to be? Um, do you do any sort of like pre-thinking or pre-drawing? Like when they told you it's the funny life of football, that's what we're going to do. Did you think, right, I better practice drawing footballs?
Um, I would like to say that I do, but I definitely don't. I usually, so what happens is I get the manuscript through, so your written words, and then I I do have a quick sort of read through and see, see what's coming up, and then yeah, I get a list and then I just go for it.
Fantastic. And how many do you know how many illustrations there are in each book, roughly? Because I've got no idea.
Oh, I did do a count, and think I think it's about 300. I think for this book.
300 individual illustrations for Don't Panic, We
I
Can't
think
Save the
so.
Planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
it's along those lines.
yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. And that's when you get that list of this is what we need you to draw, Rob. Do you do them in order that they are in, or do you pick the ones you like the sound of first and leave the difficult ones till last?
Well, I was going to say, but first of all, I definitely panic straight away, is because seeing all the drawings that I've got to do in sort of the 3 months that I've given is quite daunting when I first see it. But yeah, no, I just go through order. It's actually quite nice now because it, from the original book where it was very much I hadn't done anything like that before. I didn't really have a proper system in place for doing these drawings. So, I mean, over the time now, the way I tend to do is I read each page, what you've written, and
Hmm.
then I look at and what they want me to draw, and then I just draw it out, and then I just work through the list. But to be honest with you, this current book was probably the most freedom I've had in the whole book series, which was really nice. To be able to, it's nice to know that they trust my ideas. If you see what I mean.
Yes,
Um,
I think we've reached a point. I mean, often I'll write in the man. I don't know what version you see, but in my initial first draft that I send in, I'll if there's a particular illustration that I want in there because it makes the joke or something, I'll put it in there in italics, illustration, picture of dog farting or something like that.
yeah, yeah,
But often I'll just write Rob will have something to say here.
yeah. So I do see your suggestions,
Okay.
and yeah, and to be honest, yeah, a lot of the ones which I didn't come up with were just your ideas for this book. So,
Yeah,
or it would be taking an idea that you've had and then just trying to fit it in with the space that I'm given.
of
So,
course. Yes.
yeah. So now, when I get the book, it's almost a finished version of the book with spaces for the pictures. So, what I tend to do is put that double page onto my iPad
Hmm.
and draw over it. essentially.
I see. I was
Yeah.
literally just about to ask you, what do you use to make these lovely drawings? How do you do it? So it's
Yeah.
an iPad. Do you do pen and paper, or do you draw on the iPad, or how does it work?
So with the first book, Funny Life of Pets, I had a huge stack of paper, and I would draw it all out in pencil, a draft, and then I would use a light pad to. I've actually got the light pad here. It's very dusty now because I haven't used it for a while. But I would use this to draw over the sketches, and then I would scan it into the computer. I've got the scanner here, but I won't pick that up. and yeah, and then I'll put it in. But the problem was it was taking so long to actually, that process was so time consuming. It was taking me an awful lot longer than I had to actually get finished. So I had somewhat of an epiphany where I was talking to an illustrator at a Bloomsbury party, actually, and we were talking about how we work. And, I said about my process and, and with the paper and everything. And she said, "Oh, I just use an iPad." And she was saying, "Oh, I was at a meeting last week and I was just editing the book during the meeting. So as soon as I got home, I ordered an iPad, and that's what I've used since. I think since The Funny Life of Sharks." But you just wouldn't know, if you have the right brushes and everything on there, it's so similar. Because I was scanning it into the computer anyway, it's kind of already slightly digitalized, I suppose.
That makes sense. Well, I think the children watching this in their classrooms today would love to see to watch you doing that. Is there a way that you can show us how you draw a drawing on the iPad?
If I go into, so I'll quickly just show you. So this was the first drawing I did for this book. Just move out of the way. So if I get rid of all this, so this is what I was given. So you can see it's approved, which is great to see.
Approved.
And I guess because it's either approved or not approved. Who knows? So that's what I was given. So obviously there's a big gap there, and then there's a smaller gap on the left-hand page. So it was just a case of, so I did sketch it out, as you can see. So that was kind of my rough idea of what I wanted to do. And then, it was just sort of coming up with the different pictures for it, and just adding in different layers, and well, there you go. And then that's sort of an example of how it looks when it's finished.
Yes. Very nice. I see the process. So you get a space to fill.
Exactly, yeah. So that's pretty much it. And then, as you can see, this is all the ones from the first deadline.
Yeah.
But yeah, what would you like me to draw?
We would love you to draw something. There's lots of planet Earths in Don't Panic, We Can't Save the Planet, isn't there? We have a look.
Oh, there is, yes.
On the front covers. So show us how you, because your planet Earth have got a face, and they've got arms, and they're usually holding something. And they've got feet and everything. Show us how to draw planet Earth, please.
Okay, right. So planet Earth. Sometimes sat on the toilet as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, quite often I actually look at sort of examples of the world because I want to get it correct with the different things. But I'm just going to do a quick.
Don't worry, we won't use it as a map.
No.
This is terrible. We were trying to go to Africa. It's a lot less wibbly wobbly than we thought it was.
So another great thing about this is where I'm using this now is that it can actually correct. So if I do a circle, for instance, actually you see it can change it into a proper circle, which is nice. The one disadvantage of that is that quite often where it might have had the roughness in the first book, where this one possibly the final thing looks slightly neater, if you see what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
there you go. That's part of the air.
Lovely. Excellent. Some hair or the Arctic.
So I
Very
could just hear
lovely.
Freddie in the background shouting he needs a wee wee, and I'm hoping someone's there to help him.
Tell him you're busy.
Fine. What sort of hair, James?
Well, I was joking. I was thinking that like the Arctic is his hair, really, isn't it? But uh, does he need a hat? Maybe the Earth needs a hat.
Any particular hat?
Yeah, like a top hat. If you to draw a hat basically over the top of that, then can you like rub out bits if you wanted to? You know, I see what you've done there. You've just perched it on the top, haven't you? But is it easy to rub bits out on an iPad
Oh
if you
yeah, yeah. I
don't
mean,
like them?
you could
Yeah.
rub it out the traditional way, or I could just undo.
Oh, of course, undo. But you can use a rubber, can you, on the iPad, or use something? Well, how does it?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just here. Um,
I see.
and then really, so I do have different palettes, which is
Yeah.
quite nice. I think I've got, there we go, white to black. So I mean, obviously the book's in black and white, so I
Sure.
can color in bits here and there very easily, which is quite nice. And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
this is another thing. Now, before I couldn't really add a lot of shades and things particularly easily.
Mm.
So if you see in the old books, for shading and things, it would just be a case of squiggly lines, or
Yes.
there's a lot of that. But now I can actually add in tone, which is really nice.
Ah.
So we can add in
What's
different.
the app that you're using for this?
Oh, it's called Procreate.
Okay. And is there a if somebody's like 8 years old and you want to have a go at this, what would you recommend that they start with
Oh
on an
yeah, I mean,
iPad?
there are free versions of this app. Well,
Mm.
similar apps, drawing apps and things. I mean, my niece just bought this
Yeah.
because she finds it interesting how it works. I can't remember how much it is. I think it's £10, I think, or something like that. But it's a
Okay.
one-off payment, and I've certainly got a lot of use out of it. I've definitely got my money's worth, which
Mm.
is which
Good
is
stuff. And I see
amazing,
you're
really.
correcting little
Yeah.
lives
So
that don't
sorry. Yeah.
quite
This
meet
is
up.
so
Yeah.
this is quite often how it begins. So I will do a rough kind of sketch, and then I find myself sort of going over and correcting bits here and there. So yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it's not looking too bad actually. I'm quite.
Yeah. So
The
if
hat's gone.
anybody out there wants to be an illustrator, what would you suggest they do? What's the best thing to do?
Um, I mean, I I've been into drawing since I can remember, really, and I think a lot of it's just is practice. I
Mm.
actually found I found an old book that I made a long time ago the other day, and it was called My Pet Book or something. And
Yeah.
I actually, although I made it when I think I made it when I was 5 or 6. There are some things in that book which I'd love to actually sort of go back and do something with, because that I can't really explain it. A lot of it was it was going through saying, "This is my dog, this is my cat," and then when you turn over the end on the final page, it says, "This is the end of the book." And I really
Nice.
like that.
I like that a lot. That sounds good. So basically, what you're saying is, if you want to be an illustrator, do some illustrating. I think
Yeah,
that's
pretty
it's
much. I
good
mean, I did
advice.
go. I went to art college as well, and I did an illustration at university,
Hmm.
which so um, yeah, but yeah, practice. You don't have to go to university. You don't have to go to art college. I think if you have an interest in drawing, then just I know people who make little comics and things like that, which turn into big graphic novels. It's amazing, really.
Yes. Yes. I mean, that is a good. I think if you're drawing pictures and then you can show people them, can't you? You can copy them and give them to people in the playground.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
and then of course we have social media, we have Instagram and all these things where you can, if you can put your stuff out there, can't you? And people can
Oh
see
yeah,
it. So
yeah,
yes, it's a good thing about
definitely.
visual stuff. Writing's a bit more tricky, I think. If you write a story, and I don't think people want to put it on Instagram, do they? But the great thing about illustrating is people can see it straight away, can't they? Go, that's a picture. You can draw. I like that. I'm a big fan of encouraging children. Yeah, if you want to do something, then just get on with it. Just start. You know.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying before about with writing stories, and
Mm.
you were saying about how you write a story every day. Is that right? And then
On a good
you go
day,
back.
yeah, I do a little bit every day, definitely. And then some days you get to do more. But if you do a little bit every day, you'll get really good at it. And I think that's the same with writing, with drawing, with playing the trumpet, kicking a football against the wall. Just do a little bit every day. Wonderful. Okay, I think that's all we got time for. I like that the banana is yellow. I love bananas. No, there's bananas in all. I don't think there are
Yeah,
many
I
bananas in
try and
Don't
add in
Panic,
that.
actually. Yeah.
Do you
Wonderful.
still eat a
Well,
lot of bananas?
I'll eat loads of bananas. They're the best. Wonderful. Right. Rob Jones, thank you so much for joining me on World Book Day. It's been an absolute privilege to see you work and see your process. I love working with you, and I get so excited when the illustrations for a new book are finished and you send them to me. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things is to flick through the illustrations on my computer and go, oh, wonder what page that's from. Oh, I love that. I love that. So it's always a privilege to work with you.
And to you. No,
It's
it's always
always a
great.
privilege to work with you, Rob.
I
So yes, thanks again for joining us on World Book Day, and I hope to see you soon in person. Bye.
Excellent. Thank you. Bye bye.
That'll do. That's great.
I thought you